Hello and welcome to tonight's show. Yeah, like you say, I've got new headphones, so just getting used to it. I hope it sounds better anyway. Possibly noise cancellation and stuff on these. And let's see who we've got in today. We've got Icy Diamond. Hello. We've got Thomas Explores. Hello. We've got Darren. Cool. Let's get the names up. Come on, that's not doing it right, is it? There's Icy Diamond. There's Thomas. We've got Darren in. Cool. We've got H. Jaspery. Excellent. Love to see you in, mate. Cool. I know you're a long time subscriber and stuff. We've got Exploring with Mike. Excellent, mate. Nice to see you as well. We've got good old Adrian in. Excellent. I hope everything's going all right with you and your family and stuff like that. So, cheers. It's been going through a bit of a bad time, so show me a bit of love, everyone. And we've got Andrew Clark in as well. Excellent. Cool. And we have actually got our first guest in today. So that's quite quick. Oh, let me get sorted. How can I be looking like this? Just jumped on and all that. Yeah, right. That looks reasonable, bit better anyway, or whatever. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying, or trying to do. Right, let's get our next guest in. Oh, we've got Captain Caveman there. Hello, welcome in. Respect to Europe, bro. Right, here's our first guest. It's Jackie Greencats and things.
Or right.
Yeah, right.
They do say kings, don't they? And it's the dude you just said. Was it H? It's Jasper.
Yeah, H Jaspery.
But no, that's just his bloody hell initials. That's all. It's just Jasper. H.
Yeah.
Jasper.
There he is on the screen anyway, so everyone knows who we're talking about.
Let's move this around a bit. What?
So how's things with you, Jackie?
It's all right. Just going to move things in a minute. Stop washing me. I'm getting a wash up by one of the cats.
Yeah, I've not been doing a couple of live streams recently.
Yes, I noticed.
I've been well, but I've not been great, if you know what I mean. I've been well, but I had a sore right on my belt button, like a big boil, basically. So when I sit down here like this, it hurts and, yeah, wet and stuff like that. So I couldn't do live streams the last 2 weeks. But, yeah, none of you want to know what's happened there. Anyway, it's cleared off now. Like you see, I'm back again doing live streams, doing a few more videos and locations going out. So yeah, it should be all good now. What I've been doing is looking for a job now. The ones that I've been waiting for to come through, I've not came through. You see, so I've been looking at for other different jobs.
The thing with what the bugger and hell with it. Was it agency or something done like that, weren't it?
Yeah, agency work and stuff like that.
But you said you were having problems getting jobs coming through, and
yeah, basically that's still doing me heading. There, that's
really
the orange on each side now. That seems a bit more, stable. Yeah, not enough jobs coming through, and it was messing up with me benefits and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, it will be if you've not got regular work. Hold on, I'm trying to sort this crap out. Stop washing me, and you just no. I'm just going to sort this phone out.
Yep, we got someone else there. 36 Chambers. Excellent to see you in, mate. Cool. We've got Adam George as well. Excellent. Nice to see you in as well. And we've also got our next guest in. So I don't think they need any introducing.
Introduction.
Yeah.
Instant juicing. Or you're going to stick me in a blender and blend me up.
Well, if that's your request, I can do that.
Do you want to hear my mate? He's a Jew and he sings. He can instant juicing.
Oh my!
I don't know. Go on, Matt. You know what this channel's all about. Behave.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Now you've got
was-
him on. You know he's not going to behave.
Wow.
I know, but well, he's got to try and behave. You know what I mean? He's on his good behaviour when he comes on this channel.
Or is that the snuff again?
That's the
I
snuff.
must admit, he does try his best.
Yeah, I'll try and be good.
Yeah. How's the sound going? Can you leave a comment in the comments, please, and tell me if it sounds any better, or any echoes or anything?
Sounds all right. And hello, Jackie, by the way. Hello.
Hello again.
Cool. Yeah, I've got these headphones off Exploring with Carl, Secret Vault Nose, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No, we've never heard of Explorer, Carl.
No, who's
Well,
that?
that's why I mentioned him, you see.
Sounds like a right wanker. Is he giving away headphones? Jesus, what else does he want from you? That's what I want to know. Is he giving you headphones? But what does he want?
No, he doesn't want anything. He's just a good mate and that, know what I mean? We've met and we just bonded and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe that's it then. Maybe he wants a little kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, a bit of man love.
All right, Carl. I mean? All right, Carl. How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
hello, that was quick.
Get thee beneath me, Satan.
Yeah, Carl said he can't make it up tonight. He's off to his mum's to get his bits and bobs sung up.
He can't get it up
overalls
tonight. What?
Not his overalls. His going out gear and stuff. No, his exploring gear. I think he's ripped his pants or something.
Oh well, he can't get it up, and he's ripped his pants. Bloody hell! It's all hanging out then, probably.
Either that, or he did get it up and it's ripped his pants or something like that. I'm not too sure which way around it was.
Perhaps it's too big to keep in his pants. I hope your mum's not watching this.
I was watching it.
Sorry, I need a drink. 1 second.
Yeah, he just needs to decompress.
So things been with you, Matt?
Oh, pretty good. Apart from mate of mine, all right for me, but not all right for him. He just had a stroke, so he's in hospital, paralysed down one side. So, and that's my best mate. I used to go out to all the parties for like the last 20 years with, you know. So,
yeah, you went down to see him today, didn't you? You're saying?
Yeah. I went down to see him, but I couldn't actually see him because they're only allowing members of the family in, and there's only one designated person, and once you've designated the person, you can't change it for other people. So it was a bit crazy, but so I went down just to have a chat with his wife, and you know, just to sort of offer some support and that sort of stuff. So
We've got a few more people just came in.
That's good.
He's talking, but you know.
Oh! Stop! You know what that means, don't you?
Oh God, he's gonna play with his lights now.
Firework time.
Is it?
Oh God, no, not the firework. I knew it was
firework time. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Is it Pimpy?
I need to go and get my lighter now. 2 minutes. No, not even 2 minutes. 2 seconds.
Pimp my Maleo. Pimpy. Pimp my ride. Pimp. Oh, Mimi Paleo. Sorry, not Pimp. Yeah. Pimpy Maleo. Yeah. Anyway, well done. Thank you for your £5 donation.
Now he's going to go off and start playing with some bloody, was it sparklers or fireworks or something daft?
But he obviously hasn't got them immediately to hand, just in case somebody.
He's failed. I've been on this a couple of weeks and he's failed already. Good grief!
Oh, we've got a few people in, and I'll just have to jump to the fireworks display now.
Oh,
give me a second.
Dinkum Aussie, hello. Still too early for you to come on the stream, eh? What are you doing up at this time of the morning?
I'll turn this off now.
What else we got? Bucharest guided tours. Gareth Jones.
Mm.
Rick Gordon.
Feel the tension building up already.
No, that's probably wind.
Thank you very much for your super chat. Much appreciated. And
Right.
yeah, you get fireworks for it. I hope you enjoy.
Well, that's the super chat just now gone, isn't it? Because that firework probably cost €5. So how is this going to work out then? You might end up. What's the threshold limit before you pull a firework out?
Well, I don't know. Throw a super chat in and find out.
we could super chat you several times 50 pence, and you'll be at a loss. You'll be making a loss with all these fireworks. You got to set a limit, haven't you? I suppose anything over blah. And
something like some party poppers or something daft like that. But good grief! Yeah,
just in case. So yeah.
Isn't your fire alarm going to go off in a minute?
I hope not. I've not in the past. It's not. So yeah.
Jeez. Well,
let's see who else is. I'm going to introduce our next guest in. And hello, ALW.
Well, it's me. Hello.
My goodness, Mr. ALW.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, not bad. Yeah. What happened? Someone's won a car, have they?
No, it's just a super chat. That's all it is.
€5 super chat.
Forgetting Wales. Hello. Can I just mention? I've got mixed up in the channels. I thought Abandoned and Forgotten Wales was Gareth. You know what I mean?
I thought it was.
Yeah, but it's not. So go and check his channel out, and he can come up if he wants and have a chat and explain his channel, everything. So he's welcome
You've
to come
just
up.
had a £2 donation from
Tracy Jackson.
Tracy Jackson. That's why I got confused then.
There's Tracy Jackson there. Hello, Tracy Jackson.
Hello.
I'm trying to keep up with all these comments.
She wants to test your.
There she is.
She wants to test your, sort of like resolve how little can be donated and get a firework. Shall I donate 50 pence? It's going to bankrupt you.
Just see these flames just
cool.
How high do the sparks go? Did they go up to your ceiling?
No, they go just above my head.
Safety.
If I do that, it looks like it's burning my hand, but it's not. Tell you what, they burn some better than some of the normal fireworks. These, or the little Roman candles you have on bonfire night.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fire starter.
Cool. Yeah, I should play that music in the background, shouldn't I?
Definitely. Apart from the copyright part of it all.
Copyright.
Yeah, copyright. Oh.
I lose my...
I'm just... You like Fats? Nice to see you in, mate. Just having a quick look, see all the messages. We've got bleeding so many. It's good to see everyone in and all that. So cool. Excellent. And if I miss your names, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to
hello everyone.
see you, everyone.
Chat. How are you, Mr. Williams? You asked how I was.
Not bad. Yes, feeling well. You know, getting stuff done. But I had a day of distraction today because of my mate that had a stroke. So, yeah. But you know, I'm sure he'll pull through. He's a bit of a fighter. So you know.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what
that must have happened quite recently then if they're not letting you in to see him at the moment and stuff like that?
Well, he was on a respirator ventilator, and they've allowed him to go back to a ward. So he, clearly he can kind of breathe, but he's having problems with swallowing and all that sort of stuff, which means it's hard to feed. So, but yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about bollocks like that. It's depressing.
Oh, talking about bollocks, yeah. Do you see my last video? I got my bollocks caught in a razor fence, barbed wire fence.
Yeah, I
I
did.
didn't
Yeah,
see that one.
yeah.
Sounds painful.
It
It wasn't pleasant anyway.
Short but sweet video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw one where they were repairing the vertical bits for a viaduct where you couldn't count the amount of I can't remember what they called them. I'd call them like an abutment, like the arches for a
Yeah.
train viaduct.
The bottom of the
They-
pillars or something.
Yeah, I think they were calling them pillars. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty
Yeah. Basically, that was down to a couple of storms that happened a few weeks ago. And there's been a lot of water flowing down that way. And obviously, it's washing the embankment away, basically. And obviously, the viaduct's still active, like you see a train going across and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they've got to repair it, basically, because if they don't, it's got to be dangerous. So, yeah.
You can soon wash some footings away.
Yeah. They're putting loads of big rocks down there from Cumbria. And then putting a load of soil over the top so it goes back to nature sort of thing. So I might go back there and do another little drone fly of it once it's done. So it's like before and after sort of thing.
Yeah, do an update, do it.
Yeah. What I should have done is when the storms came, I should have went down there because the whole place was flooded and you couldn't walk about or nothing. So that would have made a good drone footage of the place. So that might be one for the future if it ever floods like that again round here. I'm sure it will do. Getting a bit dark here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Set the house on fire. That'll brighten it up a bit.
No chance of that.
Oh, by the way, do you have a PayPal account that I could send some money to? Because I do begrudge 50% of it go into bloody YouTube, and you won't get it for a month or more.
I have got a PayPal account, so
Is it
looks
worth
like
sending
Jackie's on.
you
Can you
something
do
like
it,
that?
Jackie? Post it up for us, please.
I don't know it, or I could. Is it on your channel? I reckon
Yeah,
one of
I
the
believe
mods
it's
will
on the
beat me
channel
to it,
somewhere.
'cause
Oh, right, okay. Let me have a look now.
Pretty
Hey,
sure.
there we
mods
are.
will beat me to it.
You've been beaten, Jackie. You've been beaten by the Barinator, the Barionator.
What is Barry in?
Barry's in.
There he is.
I swear
Yeah.
he's like an artificial intelligence thing, like just listening in the background to 17 channels. He's like dish 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 dish. I have met him once, so he does exist. But how he does what he does, I have no idea. So,
Can you understand him? He comes from Scotland, I believe.
well, I could kind of understand him. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to him as well, so yeah, I can understand him myself. It's not that bad accent, if you know what I mean. So there's some people
like-
out there with really bad accents, like R.C. Nesbitt. He's the right character, him though. Don't know whether you know him or not.
Yeah, Rabsy Nesbitt. Yeah.
From TV.
I mean, Barry was like all the the Nicky New, can I go back and go to we're secret vault? Like, yeah, fucking. I was like, what the fucking? And I'm like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. No, like
Good
that.
morning.
Oh, yeah, I was like, yes. How are you?
Yeah, I would like to meet Barry one day.
Yeah, it's a cool guy.
Got to meet
Know what I
Barry.
mean? He's been down to Screamfest as well. Didn't you meet him there? I think you went there.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I met him. That's the only place I've ever met him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you went there as well, Jackie, didn't you?
Yeah, I've met him twice now. I'm going to meet him again later on this year.
Yeah. So
Cool.
what you've been up to at ALW?
Working a lot. Trying to think of fun things. Just been out exploring, really, filming and stuff. Yeah, all good. Yeah. Met Matthew. When did I meet you, Matthew? Was it last year? I think it was now,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
When I came up your way, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. I think that was like November, December time, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Was it all white? Yeah.
That's the only time I've met you, but obviously we've met on live streams before. But yeah, first time in person. Yeah,
man. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Other than that, I've just been at work really. Yeah, keep my head down. Really. Sorry, should have.
No, you're all good.
Just
I'm
insert something interesting in between what I just said.
Bloody hell! Now we're definitely getting a bit of a blue channel on now.
I'm just reading a couple of comments there. People are just leaving comments, but they're cool. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see diamond.
Yeah, I liked your last video, Andrew. Of the air raid shelters, not air raid shelters, but the airplane hangars and stuff in Germany.
Oh yeah, hardened aircraft shelters. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were pretty cool to look at.
I've seen them blast defense things at the end. No, the hangar where they open the shutter up and divide the blast away from the forest and stuff like that and the ground, so it don't cause fires and stuff, and set the hangar on fire as well.
Yeah, the idea was for they had a system called QRA, Quick Reaction Aircraft, or Quick Reaction Alert, during the Cold War, where they could get fighter bomber aircraft airborne within a set amount of time. And to do that, they could either leave them out on an apron, so they're just out in the elements, which is fine in summer, but in winter it's not as easy. So they started building these hardened aircraft shelters where they could have everything at an optimum temperature and air pressure, things like that. And they could even have, if it was really bad, they could even have the aircrew in the aircraft ready to go. So all they needed to do was open the hangar doors, open some doors at the back of the hangar, start the engines in the hangar, and just taxi straight out.
Yeah,
without having to use an aircraft tug or anything like that. It took minutes and minutes away from getting an aircraft airborne, and minutes are a lot of difference. So yeah, they had a QRA, and the hardened aircraft shelters were pretty cool to look at, to be honest. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, you got permission to go there as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Dave used to work there in the 70s and 80s, and there's some people who still work because Blarbrook's Vita Airport now, so it's all sealed. It's like an airport, so you can't really go in. But Dave knows some people who still work there, so they filled some forms in, took photographs of our passports and that, and let us in. So yeah, we were just sort of driving around the security bit of the airport, filming everything, which was quite surreal. Yeah, the German police came at one point, and they sort of asked us what we were doing. We told them, and they radioed through, and then they just left. They said, "Oh yeah," and just drove off, which was quite cool. But I don't film them because it felt so weird.
Yeah,
but, yeah, it was a pretty cool place. I think I've got about 6 more videos to do from there, but this one recently you guys will all get it as well. You put a video out and you think, oh, that'll do well, and it does shocking. So you think, well, I won't do another one of those. I'll leave it for a bit. So I'll do something else. And I did one of an RAF base where there's not really much left, and that's done really well. So you think, well,
very hard to know what works and what doesn't work. I mean, yeah, I mean, I go along with what you say. You can never really tell things that I think, oh, that's really great, and doesn't do that well. But then I think to myself, am I making these videos too long? Some of them are an hour and a half, some of them are 2 hours long. I split them into like parts, and I'm like, the first part will do quite well, and then part 2 will do half as well. It's like, I think people have had enough in the first bit, and then they don't bother to watch part 2. But the reason I split it up is because, it's like, it's just a long kind of thing. And if you split it, then you know where you come back to then, if you're watching it in bits. But yeah, it's kind of weird, like if you get that viewing figure from a 1.5 hour video, but you won't get the same result from, 45 minutes and 45 minutes. which is weird. So
it doesn't make any sense, does it? No, so keep your vids long as they are amazing. There you go, you see.
Well, I've seen a couple of sneaky preview of ones coming up, and I've not watched them all yet because they're quite long, some of them. But
they are long.
there's some great ones coming out, so yeah, definitely stay tuned to Mr. Vault because, like he says, great videos coming out all the time. You did come up near towards us not too long ago. I'm not saying when or whatever. Yeah, it's a shame I couldn't come out and meet up with you and stuff like that because it looks like you had a great time and all that. So yeah,
well, I've just PayPal'd you a $5 over, right? So
I was just about to say that while you were talking. I've just checked, and I'm going to turn my light off and turn my screen off and send you a firework. Now the smoke's cleared a bit.
Ooh, you send me your firework, Will. William, send me your firework.
Show, is it?
Yeah. Boom, boom.
Call me stupid because I don't know how PayPal works and stuff like that. That's money what I can spend on the internet, isn't it, basically?
Well, how it normally works is, whatever money you've got in there, what you're just supposed to do is just say transfer to the secret vault, and you press send. Okay, that's what you tend to do, and then when you look in your PayPal account tomorrow, then you'll have double the amount in there. Like, will magically have appeared. Right? Trust me, this works. So,
I bet it does.
Hello.
You got to accept it or something, don't you?
Said nice
Tick
things.
something, say you will accept the money or something.
Oh no, only in certain cases. Yeah.
Right, because when I first set up my PayPal, someone sent us a few things in PayPal, and I thought, that's it now. It's right in PayPal, and so yeah, I seen that, Tracer. Don't worry, fireworks coming in second. So
buy now fireworks, so that you know.
I didn't get time to click on it. When I did click on it, it was saying it's too late to have it now. So yeah, I'll have to see whether it needs clicking on or whatever. But yeah, here's the fireworks coming.
Oh my days! Oh yes.
Thanks to everyone who said they liked the Hull and Barnsley series.
How many times do you have to click this? The one who wins the answer. No, it's not a competition.
4.
Hey. I quite like these turbo jet lighters. Not that I'm a smoker, but I just like this type of lighter that as it goes.
Yeah,
quite fun.
Hey,
the wife's got one that's like taser. There's like 2 prongs on it, and there's like an electrical light that goes across.
Hey, it's Guy Fawkes night. Yeah, there's some of them. There's like it comes in from 4 directions. The arcs come in from 4 directions. It looks like something like a flux capacitor from bloody the
Back to the Future.
James Michael Back to the Future. That's the one. Yeah. I can remember the word flux capacitor. I could remember the bloody movie. Yeah.
Decent movies then.
Yeah.
Hey, Ollie.
I think the first 3 were the better ones. Personally,
I've only seen the first 3.
There are only 3, aren't there? Yeah.
Answer is yes. It.
I mean the first 2 then. For the first 2.
Mm.
The first 2.
Oh, okay.
I think
the third one did go a bit dark, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was all sort of fun, and then the second one was all right, and it got a bit dark. I mean, I'm recalling this as like an 8-year-old because I was about 8 when they come out. So yeah, they were a bit. Third one was a bit grim compared to the first 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Now you mention that, because we haven't had anything of that genre for a while, I know telepathically what's going to come out. I'm predicting it now. I reckon they're going to do a Doc Emmett Brown. Well, they're going to probably do a prequel, like how Doc Emmett Brown got to where he is and all the inventions he did prior to the time machine. And the thing is, as well, maybe that wasn't the first time he tried the time machine, because let's face it, he would have had a lot of experimentation up to that point, and he did try the dog, but maybe he was just trying to show it worked with the dog, but maybe he'd done a lot of stuff before that. So there's all sorts of like possibilities for what they could do with that, prequel. And of course, they don't have to have Christopher Lloyd in it per se, because he's very old now, because he's playing a younger character. So, he'd be a younger character.
Is he still about, Christopher?
Yes, he's still alive. Yeah.
They could have him in it somewhere, couldn't they? It's like the older version of him, because it's still being money. And
they could have really old version of him. Yeah, go into the future and meets himself as an old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that feeling someone's watching you?
Oh, yeah. You've been watched by a chair.
Crazy graffiti.
Oh. Yeah, we won't talk about that, shall we? Graffiti.
Yeah. There's times and places for it, but like a lot of people do, they go down to the old buildings and just destroy them with paint. But saying that, some of the work is art, I'd say, and some of it is absolutely rubbish. And
just rattle can crap.
There's a place near Sheffield. I think you've been to it, Andrew. I went there when we went to do the Megatron, and we're coming back, and there was a big brickworks on the left-hand side as we're coming back towards Manchester. I can't remember the name of it. I put a post on Instagram when we first went there and climbed up a chimney with ladders.
Could be Loxley.
I'm not too sure, but I believe they got to build houses on there or something. But we went on there. Yeah. We went on there and to obviously see what the buildings are and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a big, massive place. Most of the buildings, what were there, are down, but quite a lot of buildings are still up. But there's nothing in them, and they're all stripped, and it's being took over by graffiti artists. And suppose that's one place. It's accessible now, if you know what I mean. They've took over it now, and obviously there's no features there, much features of the original buildings and stuff. So it's like a playground for the artists, graffiti artists. And I might release a video of that because I took loads of pictures. Walked around it, but the pictures were, the graffiti was more interesting than the buildings because, like I say, the buildings weren't there unless you really looked hard for the details like pulleys and stuff, and it weren't easy. So it was easier just to take pictures and stuff like that because, like I say, some of the artwork was outstanding.
Yeah, they are good, aren't they?
Yeah. But I don't appreciate people going down the street, spraying whatever on people's walls. Or I was at a set of traffic lights today, and it says, "War is coming, WW3." And I thought, yeah, why do it on the wall? Know what I mean? There's websites and all that you can put up, or just post it. Yeah, but it's just no need for it at certain places, especially on people's walls where they live and stuff like that. Know what I mean? And the old buildings, you got to respect what they are as well. At the end of the day, suppose if it's all burnt out and it's black inside and there's no roof, nothing, no features, no door frames or anything. Suppose you go in there and then tidy the wall up or put a nice piece on the wall. Know what I mean? It look a lot better than the burnt wall and something to see. But if someone looks through the window, they see a nice piece or something. But yeah, there is, like I say, places for it and shouldn't be. Street art is another one. Go to Manchester, you see quite a few doing drawings with chalk on the ground and stuff like that. And some of them pieces they do, they're stunning and they just wash away in the rain. Yeah, but I don't don't promote graffiti or anything, especially in old buildings or people's houses or anything like that, really. But some places it just fits in, and there's a pump house in, I think it's Buxton. There's this guy gone in and drew like a little what are they called? Them yellow things on
Minion.
Yeah. a minion on like a metal thing, and it looked it just looked perfect where it was. Like it
think
shouldn't
I've
be
seen
there,
that.
but yeah. It's just
think
stuff
I've
like
seen
that. It's like surprising, but
There's some good optical illusion artists and stuff, and they
Yeah.
do special stuff. And I like these like large scale on the side of a building, where people have done it properly, and it's, it looks really good and high detail, and I appreciate like high quality art where somebody has made an effort, they know what they're doing. What I don't appreciate is low quality art where somebody doesn't really know what they're doing and they're just using a wall to practice, and it's like, well, you practice on paper. Yeah, and you get good and you learn, because by practicing, you know how to do it big. If you could do it small, you can do it big. Well, there's some sort of skill required with the way you use an air can over shading with a pencil or charcoal or whatever. But ultimately, I think if you can't draw or if you can't do what you're attempting to do up there in small, why bother? And I mean, it's got to look impressive. And tagging, what the hell's tagging? I've gone on about this before, but what the hell is tagging? I mean, just put in like some sort of scrawly name, so it's so scrawly that you can't actually work out whose name it is. So really, there's not a lot of point because it's not going to jump out at people, and they're not going to remember your name, because they can't actually work out what the name is.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I hate him, that guy Helch, who goes putting his name over all these bridges and shit around the place. Helch. Right, you can read it. I would wish he wouldn't do it because it's just boring. Because I mean, I don't need to know what an ex-heroin addict, like crazy guy just wants to put his name all over the country. Helch. Does he think he's going to like become immortal or something by doing this?
Yeah, and a lot of people draw the three hills, two little hills with a mountain in the middle. I'm not saying anything, but that comment says it all. What's the need in doing that?
There's three hills there now. Look on ALW's.
Yeah, like
that. There's something like that.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah, but I've noticed in Manchester as well, on some of the buildings, the taller buildings, the older ones, they've had permission to draw on them, and they've actually done like a motique on the full side of the building of a person or of a picture of something or stuff like that. There's so many different ones, and they keep changing as well. So when you walk through town, it's a bit interesting that as well to see.
Well, saying about that, people do in the graffiti world, they stick their stuff on top of somebody else's. Now that's rude, even to the point where, you've got like a really good piece of art and suddenly you start to get tags appearing on it. And then somebody tries to start drawing on top of somebody else's very, very good piece of work. I mean, that is just disgusting, It's a bit, there's a bit of toxicity in the graffiti world, I think. It's not all it should be, really, and I like art, but I question whether some of it is art, really, but who am I to say what I hate somebody else might love? So shut up, William. you wish
But you're talking
would.
to me then.
No, not Walker. Mr. Willie Walker had his chocolate factory.
I don't know.
They're making a new one of them, I was down in Dover the other week, and Warner Brothers were there filming a Wonka movie. So, just throwing it out there. If you like this, look at food.
The factory, the original one, that's in Germany. No, the one where they fly out the roof with the lift.
Right.
Oh,
so
right.
It's a real place.
The Wonka factory, the real place factory that was.
Yeah, they don't tend to turn all their places
it.
into retail parks. They actually preserve it. There's a big place in Landschaft Park, Duisburg Nord, and that's a steelworks that shut down in the early 80s, and they just turned it into a museum where you can actually just go around and explore it. which is quite cool. Whereas here they just knock it to bits, don't they, and put a TK Maxx on it.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of these cinemas, you know, which I really sad to see these cinemas go, because they're so classic inside the looks of them. And I know they've been run down, but they could be brought back to a very high spec if somebody wanted to do it. But their idea is, well, why do we want one screen when we can, or, you know, one huge one screen when we can have 10 smaller screens in a prefab unit, where if tomorrow Odeon decide they don't want to have a cinema anymore, we can just scrape it all out, and then somebody else can be in there, like, you know, within a couple of months, like jump. It's just like an erasable space. They can just keep erasing and erasing. But the thing is with these cinemas is you can't erase that, because it is history. But so many places are doing it right now. I mean, some of the places we visited recently, I did it specifically because they weren't going to be there much longer, you know. And
even more modern stuff like Showcase, you know, it's like the 80s, and the movies of the 80s and 90s were shown in there, and that's just all gone now. And then the more classic ones, like you say, your ABCs and things like that, where they really are proper picture houses. There's no intention of ever doing anything with them.
No.
They're just letting them fall to bits.
Don't want to say too much, but one of the videos you sent us, Matt, that remind me of Fatal that I took you to, and when we got in there, it was all burnt out. But when back in the day when we got in as kids, it was like that when we went in, and it was so stunning. And at the one place, there's two big wooden crates, and the size of the light bulb in there was unbelievable. Yeah, it wouldn't screw into light fitting, no chance. It was at least that size, the glass thing itself.
Like one of them cartoons where you have an idea and it's above your head.
Yeah. And apparently when the people moved in after that, they've just binned it, skipped it all. I was like, no way. I just love one of them light bulbs in the background here, just sat there, know what I mean, on a stand or something. Because if someone comes in your house and sees that, they'll think, what's that? Conversation piece straight away, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Mercury arc rectifiers, most of them were gone in most of the cinemas, but one of them was smashed, and it was at the bottom of the box. And again, that's a bit sad, because, I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but, you know, a Mercury arc rectifier, you can actually use them. You know, you can actually power them up, and you can use them to take the mains voltage out and give you DC power and run something with it. You know, and they're physically interesting to look at. You know, they light up, and you can see the power coming down as plasma and sort of like bubbling. And you know, it's, you know, you don't often get to see electric. You know, it's just there and it just does something. And as long as you don't touch the wires, you don't know electric's there. But with this type of material, this type of stuff, you can actually see electricity. It's, you know, interesting.
Yeah. Hello, Taffy. Welcome in. Yeah, it sounds like one of them Dracula films, or what's the one where they make the body? Frankenstein one. And you see the sparks coming down and stuff like that, going zzz. A bit like that, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah, the Jacob's ladder, I think they call it. It's like, you know, these two poles, and it goes jump and out, jump and out. Yeah.
There is a YouTuber that makes one. What's he called?
Your sound's gone a bit funny, Jackie.
Photonic induction?
No, he's got a channel. I haven't watched it for a while. Somebody in the chat will know. I think he's an Iranian guy, and he now lives in Canada.
Oh yeah, that's Electro Boom.
Electro Boom, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He always ends up giving himself electric shocks and stuff. Yeah,
he's ace.
The thing is, I mean, he does kind of admit that a lot of that is faked up. You know, he does do it, you know, to teach people what not to do. But he does have an electrical engineering master degree, like, you know, it's almost like PhD level. He knows his shit, but he's obviously made mistakes in the past, like anybody has. But he likes to show people what happens, so he'll like set it up and he'll go, "Oh, I was done," like, and they touch it, you know, and it's like you hear a spark and you'll see the spark, and I think it is kind of hammed up, you know. So,
Yeah,
funny.
That's good. It's very funny.
There's a message there.
Sorry if I spoiled anybody's Electro Boom enjoyment by telling you that it is slightly staged. Yeah,
it'd be quite dead by now if it wasn't.
Mm.
HMS Royal Arden Air Caution. How many photographs of it? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one for
demolished. A lot of places though, like now, a lot of people are going out doing what we're doing and documenting the places before they actually get destroyed and lost forever. But there's a lot of places before people started taking up this sport or urbex or whatever you want to do, history seeking and whatever you want to call it. A lot of, before all this craze started off, a lot of places just went and no history, no pictures, and now you go to look at them and you think something used to be there, and you try and Google it, and obviously there's nothing there at all that you can find. The only way to do that is obviously looking at the old maps and going back into the archives and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, just scratching the surface really. If you think of sort of Oldham, Burnley, Manchester, there used to be something like 2,000 chimneys from all the mills that you could see across, you know. Now there's what, about 50, if that?
Yeah.
So all that history has just been...
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, I've just noticed that Taffy's in. So...
Yeah. I put his name up before and gave him a quick wave to him.
Oh, you did? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted you to know that we sometimes do read the comments and the chats, so we knew, you know, we knew you were in this time, Taffy. Yeah, we actually knew it.
I've learned to keep my eye on the chat. You know what I mean? I've learned to do it now, so it's getting quite good. With me pointing things out like that, new people coming in and stuff.
Hello. Dinkum Ozzy's asking, what was the name of the guy blowing up the massive fuses and melting wrenches in his house? That's what I was saying. It was the one I got wrong, because it was Electro Boom was the one ALW was talking about. But the one I mentioned first, who I really like, he's quite comical, is photonic induction. And he's like, he sort of got this London accent. He sort of goes, I'm not having it. When it doesn't blow up, if something doesn't blow up, he's like, I'm not having it. More power. Shall we blow it up? Yes, let's. He's like, it didn't go. Shall we double the power? I'm not having it. He's got all these like mannerisms and things, but he's brilliant. He's one of the original guys. I think he was the original guy to get a washing machine to take out the weights, the concrete weights, so it's basically able to bounce, and then spin it up really fast, like using a voltage thing to kind of like get the thing crazy fast, and then throw in a brick or a breeze block, and the washing machine is bouncing around his garden, and then on its side, and it's rotating and it's doing all this stuff. It's absolutely hysterical. But everybody copied it, and they never tipped their hat and said, like, you know, oh, we saw this on photonic induction. They just nicked the gag and then pretended like it was their gag, you know, and it was like, yeah. And I think a lot of people, he got pissed off by it, because he said, like, you know, a lot of people have got like 18 million hits and I've got like, you know, 500,000 hits. And it's just like, it's shit, you know, somebody's nicked his idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that. I think everyone's seen that video, or one of the videos. There's people that tried it as well and it's not worked, but I didn't know you had to take the weights out of the machine first.
Yeah.
But yeah, suppose if you take the weights out, it does like knock it off balance when you throw something in.
Well, it's not just that, because a lot of people, they'll have ones that are doing standard speed, but I mean, he sped it up to the point where the motor is smoking, you know, it's like it's already smoking before he chucks anything in it. Oh, he maxes everything out. Yeah. I mean, he had something like a 20 or 30, like maybe a 50 kilowatt arc bulb in his back garden. And he knows how to fire them up as well. Like he's got the equipment, and he's like, right then, and he's like, right, we've got to put on arc things now. And he's literally like, I mean, his back garden looks like it's going to catch fire. There's like smoke is coming off things in his back garden, and it's like it's just this amazing amount of power. It's like he's probably getting X-rays off it and all sorts. It's like, you know, yeah.
I wouldn't like to pay his electric bill anyway.
He came back up. He came back up recently because he had a period where he disappeared off, and yeah, he was a bit gutted because he got himself a mail order wife off the internet. Literally, he sort of like literally got himself like somebody off the internet. But you know, loves her dearly and thinks, you know, she thinks the world of her, but wants to like properly marry and allow her to stay in the UK. And he's had absolutely holy hell with the authorities. Are like, nope, not having that. And it's like, Jesus. Yeah.
There's a question on the screen for you, Matt. There, don't know whether you want to answer it or not.
The court in Bristol. Oh, there's a couple. There's the big court in Bristol, which had the fire. Yeah, we won't go into that one. Yeah, I think he's watching now, actually, aren't you? You're watching, aren't you, little arsonist? Hey, yeah. I already know he is because he's been up to his antics again. But yeah, so that was that one. That's the Bristol Crown Court. But of course, if you type in Bristol Crown Court, you get the new Crown Court. What you've got to do is look at the front of the Bristol Crown Court, the new one, turn around, and behind you is the old one. So, you know, just, yeah. The other one was not Aldershot. What was it? Alton Magistrates Court, where we went in there. The kids had smashed a side window, like a whole massive pane. And we were like driving around looking for the Coors Beer Factory. And as we went round and round this like system, they said, well, what's that building there? That looks empty. And I said, do you know, it looks like a police station or maybe a court. And we went around the side. The bloody glass was on the floor. It must have just happened, you know, like in the last couple of hours or a couple of days.
Oh, I
like,
know the one you mean. Yeah, where it's all like tinted windows, basically, and just one of the windows was shattered, that shattered glass.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's now, as so they said, it's gone. It has indeed gone. Along with the Coors factory should be gone by now as well. Coors Beer Factory was being
I'm watching that one.
I was going to say it wasn't the one in Bury that you did, because I don't think Sam and Jess was there at the time you did that. I think it was you, Taffer, me. I didn't do it. Exploring Your Car was there, and then LK Computers was there as well, and a few others. Yeah.
It was a classic one because we got in there and we knew there was security, and we were wandering around like shining torches as we do, you know, just literally baiting it for ourselves. And then they came, and then suddenly it was like they were shouting in the building, and we got dogs, come out here. And it was like, shit. So we ran, and we were like, we didn't know if we could get out, you know, but we just ran down to the ground floor, and like magically in front of us was a door. And I said, that's that door from earlier on. I bet you it won't open. It was like, and it opened. It was like, shit, we're out. So we actually managed to get away from it. It was a high octane experience, that one, because, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have met them inside the building, but...
Nah.
Leading Elf.
Don't need that.
Always that mill's been set on fire. The Peaky Blinders mill.
Yes, I heard about that, yeah.
When was that?
That was about a week ago, I think.
Oh, I've seen photos of that, yeah.
Leading Elf.
Yeah. I think Bannerman put photos of it when they did it and what it's like now.
It's totaled. Is it like Littlewoods in Liverpool?
Yeah, like Littlewoods at Liverpool, yeah, just wrecked.
Bleeding now.
Greg Goddard says that's it in his hometown of Alton, but did you get in there and check it out? Because that place, inside that beer factory, was absolutely amazing. I mean, seeing all the pipes and all the big stainless steel vats and things, and climbing up ladders to look in them and climbing in them, even, you know, getting inside them. It's great.
Swimming in the beer.
Yeah. It's funny how they get permission to build something like that, and then they just go, yeah, not bothering with that anymore, close that down. It's like, well, where does it all go? You know, like, have they got a more efficient factory that can produce double the amount in and cost less money, and they're just like constantly shutting down all these older things. And it must be like just 2 or 3 giant factories in the whole of the UK that produce all the beer.
Yeah.
Definitely notice you now.
Hello.
Yeah, because some of them, they produce the beer for other people. It's like there are companies,
Yeah.
I think they actually produce Coca-Cola on behalf of Coca-Cola, So they just like dial it all in, and then they produce loads of Coke for a couple of weeks, and then they go, right, now beer. And it's just like crazy what these places get up to.
Yeah. Someone's
There's a
asking whether you'd
bakery,
go back
not
to
not
Red
beer,
Door
but
there.
it's food. Burns and Bunker. What was he going on? I think everybody would go if they could get in.
Yeah, I don't think it's accessible now, really. I think it's sealed that up tightening the ducks behind.
Well, people say this, they say, would I like to go to the Berlin? Oh, again, I was going to say, but a lot of people don't know. I've actually been on the other side of those doors and actually had a wander around, but they won't let people in there at the moment
No.
because it's in use. So it's all gone a bit top secret again, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, don't say too much about what's going on in the world. Do you reckon they've reactivated some of the bunkers that were on standby in this country, just in case?
Well, yeah, I think they've already got,
New ones.
ALW would probably know a lot about this. I think they've got new ones. Yeah, they wouldn't need to reactivate old ones. They've already got new secret ones that nobody knows about. And then there's a few that we do know about. There's like Northwoods, there's
Kelvington
Corsham,
Hatch as well.
yeah. Well, that's not in use. It could easily be brought back into use. But
That's what I mean. Something like that. Do you reckon they might recall off the farm or say we need it back now?
Yeah, the holy grail idea is that there is some super bunker that the royal family would go in, and it's like none of us know where it is. This is the concept idea, but does it exist or doesn't it? Don't know. Is there a super bunker somewhere? You
never know, do you? Until like years and years after, like Burlington itself, no one knew about that for years.
They're all decoys, these places, and they like to let people talk about it a lot, but not shut these people down like myself, because it's a decoy. That way, it just puts all the attention there when you're doing something over there.
Yeah.
I think Corsham for 40 or 50 years has been a decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, change subject now, because like I say, don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole about what's happening in the world.
ALW knows a lot of things he can't say because he was in the military. Otherwise, he'd be breaking the official secrets. I bet he knows a few bunkers that we don't know about.
He's just laughing there.
Yeah. Thing is, like the more classic stuff films better anyway. The new stuff, boring. The new stuff is literally like going around
being in an office.
Just like an office with no windows these days.
Yeah. There was one in Germany that was built in the late 80s for Sky Shadow, which was a system on tornadoes, and that was called the PAC, the Protected Avionics Center. And that literally was a concrete box. It just looked like a box on the surface. They didn't even bother digging it in because the Russians knew where it was before they even started building it. So they're like, oh, well, we'll just build it on the surface then. It was bomb-proof, but, if they'd really gone to town on it, they would have broke it up. But the war was lost by then if they were hitting it anyway. So thanks for the credit in the car.
Yeah, no worries, KK. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us use it. Yeah, I totally get that. There's some sort of bunkers which they've built up at Corsham, I was told, and they basically managed to flood the bunker before it ever got in use. So they ripped everything out of it, put it in a skip, and then leveled it off. And people to this day still don't know where that bunker was, because it was all built, never got used, demolished, and but it was kind of on the surface. It wasn't very, wasn't far down, but down enough that the idiot who left the tap on managed to flood it over a weekend. So, yeah. So they
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Suppose if they
It
turn
does
the
happen.
finger pumps back on, they might be able to clean it. No, clear it
Some
out.
pump.
Yeah.
Some pump it out, yeah.
Because suppose
Go.
the sump pump is designed to get flooded in a way so it won't get damaged by the water. No, like electric schools and stuff like that. So if they turn it back on, you should be able to redo it.
Yeah. Doable.
Mm.
But they don't want it.
KK Explores shouldn't be a troll because we do know him, and he's yeah. Somebody's asking. Greg Goggard says he worked on the Alton site for 3 years. So that's Coors Beer Factory you're talking about there, yeah? So he's obviously seen the inside of it then. There's no point me saying, oh, have you urbexed it if he worked there? He's probably seen a lot better than the urbex. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying he's not a troll.
Mm. Mark Lewis says he put a video on my Facebook about what happened to the UK with a nuclear attack, and it talks about a big bunker in London. Yeah, there's talk about a big London bunker. Pindar, I think they have referred to it as Pindar in the past, and it's supposed to be something that connects MOD to Whitehall, and the royal family could go down there. God knows how deep it is, but it would have to be pretty deep, because I mean there would be direct strikes on, Parliament,
Major towns and stuff like that, yeah.
I mean it would be
Ooh, yeah.
absolutely direct on Parliament and the MOD building. So you'd have to be very, very deep to survive something like that.
Yeah, that's why they cancelled a lot of the 60s bunkers these days, because they've been obsolete by the power of the weapons that upgraded to. So what could stand a blast then won't stand a blast compared to the new stuff. So like you say, they've ditched all the old ones and redone them further down, deeper and different locations, so to throw people off, and just left the old ones abandoned now and sold them on to other people and stuff like that.
A lot of the rotor bunkers weren't bomb-proof. They were just a protected bunker. It was more to keep the equipment at a constant humidity and temperature. They weren't. They were almost a cut and cover, where they just dig a big hole, build the bunker, and then cover it over. They were only really a steel and concrete roof. They weren't sort of deep blast proof.
No, they weren't designed to take a direct blast, but if it was like in the next 10 miles or something, it would be able to function still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a good video I saw the other day. I couldn't tell you the channel, but it's from the Ukraine, which obviously now you're not going to be able to see this. And I thought, damn, because it's actually a really good site. It was a missile site in Ukraine where all the missiles got deactivated, given back to Russia and whatnot. So they didn't hold on to any nuclear stuff, but they had old rockets which weren't filled with any propellants. And they had old warheads, but without the main components in them. So they put a museum together, and it included the hatches that opened up, and there's actual rockets in there, but not ready to go. It's obviously the equipment's old and knackered now. But the guy who runs the museum, it's an interesting video because it starts off as a kind of like look at all these old rockets, and I'm thinking, I wonder if there'll be anything to see. And oh yeah, there is. It's all well kept underground, and he takes them in this tiny little lift, down into the control center where you'd actually turn the keys and push the button. And it's claustrophobic. It's not like the American ones, which are quite nice. The Russians, it's nice. Like they're on a shoestring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? Well, I know for a fact you've seen it. Terminator 2. Or I think it's the one where they on the back of a Jeep with a big gun going to shooting down the robots at the beginning. Let me show you this, what I've seen today on YouTube. Share screen. It just reminded me of the same thing, actually.
Oh, you're not gonna? Are you thinking about a BMW car?
Yeah.
How did I know he was going to say? Because when he said like a gun, and I saw a picture of that today, and I thought, that's quite fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I know that? Was it you sent it to me, or was it some? Did you send it to me?
Don't think so. No.
Because I think I saw it on a newspaper site or something, and I clicked on it. But yeah, no, there was nobody in the car when I saw it, and it was just photos.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's quite a nice car by the looks of it as well.
But they have sprayed on it, haven't they? They sprayed as well as putting the graphics on it. It's like, see on the bonnet, it's like a spray.
Sit there in the background, just hooked on.
Yeah.
See, there's a driver in this one.
It's a nice car, that.
It's very nice. Looks like they just took the boot out and then made a frame in the boot, basically.
Well, I suppose on the back. You'll be able to make a quick retreat if you were like hiding, fire at somebody, and then get the hell out of there really quickly, which tanks aren't well known for. Sort of like, well, some of them can do 70 miles an hour, but not a lot of them can do 70 miles an hour.
No, I bet you that can shift though, like you say, even with that weight on the back of it. Just like a hit squat, you know what I mean? There's a convoy coming round the car, and as soon as they come around the car, it'll let it all off, then shoot off then. Got Bexy in.
Hello.
Cool.
Being a naval man, Mr. ALW, have you seen the footage of the island? The Ukrainians, the Russians were like saying across the radio, and on a warship, they were like, right, you have to give up to Russia. You must surrender. And the reply, have you seen the video about it?
No,
I haven't. I don't watch television, to be honest.
Please continue. Their reply, can I swear, Will? Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, as long as it's not too long, you know what I mean?
It's in context. It's in context. Yeah. So they were basically, the Russians were like, right, we're Russia and we're going to bomb you if you do not surrender. And they said, the Ukrainians like, go fuck yourselves in Russian, go fuck yourselves. Yeah. And the Ukrainians fired at them and managed to destroy the ship. So that wasn't a good idea for those Russians to be kicking off like that. They had their ass handed to them.
Yeah, let's get off that subject about the them two countries.
Yeah. There's a channel over there that's been like demonetized, a big channel as well, and they weren't really even talking about it. It's just because they're from the country that's been attacked. They've just demonetized them. Which is a bit
I've noticed with live streams, you're allowed to swear, but if it is foul and constantly every other word coming out, they don't like it. But like Matt just did, a little bleep of the slip of the tongue. It's not too bad.
Wow.
Yeah. But obviously, you got to remember about what happened 2 years ago in this country, and if anyone mentioned that, they've done the same thing about their channel. Just went, no, you're not allowed to say that. No. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't want to get all political. I don't want to get all political, but apparently Facebook has said that it's okay to send like nasty comments and hate comments as long as it's supporting Ukraine and hating on Russia. Now that's
they shouldn't do that.
They shouldn't do that because under a normal circumstance you'd get your account suspended, but temporarily it's okay to go and make, and this is the thing, right? And to make death threats to the country. Yeah,
that's miscommunication, or whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because like they've lynched me off in the past for just like telling somebody to go beep themselves, and they're like block. You got a 7-day ban or a 30-day ban and all this sort of stuff. And it's like now they're saying to people, you can actually say, cease to exist. Let's put it like that. Cease to exist. Beep beep. Yeah.
Well, as long as
I can see what Urbex is writing, but I'm not going to show that on the chat because it might promote. Yes, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think the hypocrisy
got to
is
get
amazing.
Prepared, you know what I mean? If it does happen.
I think I'd rather go quickly.
But come on, let's change the subject.
Oh,
You know what I
sorry.
mean?
Let's change it to.
I bought a My Little Pony yesterday, and it has rainbow fur, rainbow hair comes out of the back, and I prance it along, and little sparkles come out of its butt, and it's amazing.
Okay.
It's a bit like your firework thing, and it's amazing because yeah, friendship is magic, mate.
That's cool.
You know?
I used to have the cars where you used to push them along and the sparks used to come out. So I suppose it's the same
Bit
sort
like
of
that.
thing. Yeah.
But for girls, yeah, that's right, yeah. But yes,
Oh, not
it's
for girls, unisex, innit? Know what I mean? You're playing with it.
Unisex.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to juxtaposition the sad stuff with something magical and uplifting.
Magic prancing
Well, a
horse.
few laughs happened there then.
Yeah.
My Little Pony isn't magical. It's pain.
You know, his ALW's now like going, nah, not feeling this. No, it's a piss take. I'm not going to buy a bloody My Little Pony. What? Right.
Yeah.
It was a joke, folks. It was a joke.
I know it's a joke. But still, burn it with fire.
Oh.
I have got two Malamute plushies, which are on the pillow over there. But I would not have bought those myself. They were bought for me, so I put them on the pillow.
Oh, the
I
old
wouldn't have
it
bought
was
those
a gift
myself.
gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I can find the original people who bought them for me, and I can get them to come and give an affidavit or come on. You know, I can prove it. Yeah.
But it's in
Yeah.
your house, Matt. Oh, it was a gift. It was a gift.
Yeah.
I got the real thing. I don't know why they have to buy me a furry toy version of the. I got the real thing.
Yeah, but that little thing only seems to love you when you've got food.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Got
Like
the
the
listening
cats,
as well.
my cats. I'm like, oh, you got food. But you haven't got any, right? You can bugger off then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If I've missed anyone in the chat, I'm sorry. I've tried to keep my eyes on everyone who's came in and left a message and pop you on the screen and stuff.
I think they're all saying hello to each other. So
Yeah, I
hello.
think I've got everyone up to now
I
anyway.
want the fairy
Natalie.
toy version.
Furry.
Yeah, I've really got Alex.
Yeah, Natalie likes ponies, don't you? She does riding, doesn't she? Horse riding and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
Natalie, Lucy, Alice. Yeah. Hello.
I have seen a furry. Well, sorry to take it sideways, but I've seen a furry guy dressing up as a My Little Pony, and he's got like hooves, and he prances around. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing to watch. But I mean,
That
Is it
Yeah.
a woman's walking him round? Or am I getting mixed up with something else that I've seen?
I think you're on a different internet website for that one, mate.
no, it's on YouTube. I could probably find it. And let's just have a look. It might be called like Prancing Pony or something like that. He's got a name that's just a bit weird. Anyway, I don't go looking for this stuff, folks. This is the stuff that I've accidentally clicked on. That happens to be on YouTube. Yeah, hang on. Then so let's just say.
Yeah, he clicked on it because he's got his pony who's looking for like videos on his little pony, isn't it? And this pops up.
Let me see if I can find
Keno's
this
in.
person.
Hi, Keno.
Yep, popped him on the screen a
Okay.
minute ago. Oh,
And
got
you got the
Skull
bronies
Quack as
then.
well.
Did you?
You don't want to look at bronies,
Skull
folks.
Quack.
Trust me.
It could be bronies.
Don't look at bronies, whatever you do, folks. It will break your screen. Trust me.
I'm always in deep thought. Wise woman one.
Oh dear, it's not jumping out at me. I'll have to find it. It's going to take time, but yeah, it's not the one it's not exactly jumping out at me. So it's like called Prancing Pony or something. I don't know.
Another video that popped out at me while I was going through the internet this week. Let me see if I can find it. I couldn't believe it. It's taking its time now, going slow.
Same here. in the house.
John Bengals put that. I'm just reading that, John. That's actually a thing. I used to live in London, and the sights I used to see, you just walking around, the way people dress was like, that's normalizing that then, nuts.
Anyway, I should stop looking at this crap because it will distract me too much. But anyway, if you want to be, if you want to be horrified about how all this works, there's a documentary with none other than Q from Star Trek, John Delancey, who plays Q. Right, he champions the cause of bronies. These people who've got like maybe let's say a high proportion Asperger's or on the spectrum, but just happen to be fully committed adults who love My Little Pony. So they go to conventions and they sort of like they do pony things with each other, and sort of like they have special like secret handshakes and signs and things they say, and so it's an interesting documentary, that one. It will break your brain. You will not be the same after watching it. Yeah,
I seen I think it was Storage Wars, and they found some My Little Pony stuff, and they took him to an expert, or what they call an expert, and it was someone all dressed up like you say, and they called them had a special name for them for the male ones and female people who follow My Little Ponies. I can't remember the name of them.
This is the thing, see, they've got their own special language, and like once you get into it, you're like, oh my god, yeah.
I found that video that was
keeps them out of trouble, I
People have been
suppose.
dropped on their ads too many times.
Yeah. But there's a sadness about it, because you can tell that it's kind of like a mania, like kind of these people grew up, and sort of like this stuff, and have become adults now, but have never grown up, and you can tell that the kind of like they are trying to live a fantasy, sort of like 5 to 7 year old life, connection with this like My Little Pony world. It's really weird. And a lot of them are male, right? That's the big thing, is like a lot of them are male, higher proportion of males than females in that sort of thing, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, I found that video it was talking about.
There's a blue, there's meant to be is it Sonic the Hedgehog as well, one.
Yeah, there's all sorts of ones, isn't there? There's Chinese, not saying Chinese, but they're like Chinese cat ones and stuff that dress up and stuff like that.
Oh, is it?
So,
God,
I don't know the name of it. Hello Kitty or something, is it?
Oh, Hello Kitty. Yeah.
The crossover is that it's cosplay, so you'll end up, if you go to conventions where you've got like big name stars are appearing to release the latest movie, like Batman or something like that, and they'll be there, but like all the cosplayers come in, and then you get the fringe element cosplayers like the furries and the bronies and all the characters.
Has it? The bronies, yeah. That's My Little Pony for the boys, isn't it? The bronies.
The bronies, yeah.
Yeah. I found that video that I was seeing through YouTube. Tortoises. How big do you reckon they can get?
Very big.
Oh, they get some
Oh,
of
yeah,
them
you get the really big ones. You've got the cool type of tortoise.
You can ride on them. They're that big. You can sit on the
ride on tortoise.
When I seen it, I was like gobsmacked. You know what I mean? I'll show you the video I've got now of it.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, the giant ones. Yeah.
Compared to the people, like you'll see in a second, they're massive. What do you think they weigh? Them must be a quarter of a ton.
Mm.
Oh,
some of them are quite nasty as well, aren't they?
I don't know. I wouldn't like to get bit by one. See it against the size of a person now.
Wow.
Snapping turtles, you've got to be a bit more careful of, because they can get you really quickly, aren't they? Yeah.
Imagine
Especially when they can just take the bone off and everything. Bloody hell. Is that alligator snapping turtles, and there's Yeah.
They move quite quick, don't they? Seeing how big they are.
Oh, a female brony is called a sorry, a pegasister.
Yeah, that's it. A Pegasisto, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, so if you want
They
to
put
break your brain, don't watch Secret Vault or any of our videos. We'll just go watch the Brony documentary with John Delancey. John Delancey's in it, folks, and he really is totally into it, and it's bizarre. You know?
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's 20,
Well, they were
2012. It's
massive,
called
them things. Yeah.
Brony, the extremely unexpected adult fans of My Little Pony. That's the full title of the video.
Yeah, it's not really my forte. This
Bomb-proof tortoises.
bomb-proof. All right. They must get.
Yeah, I've got a
I've
bit
got the
of
like
armour,
celery
haven't
and
I?
stuff.
I couldn't believe it, the size of them. I knew they grew big, but I didn't
Massive.
know they grew that big. Where
I
you
didn't
could
know they got as big as
actually
that.
climb on them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend
Yeah.
it though.
No.
Well, this one for Jackie. I was watching a video earlier on because I watch animal videos all day long, like little sort of rescue videos and bits and pieces. But one came up in my my thing earlier on about this cat. I can probably check out what its name was, but it was like a white cat, and it's the size of like a wolf. And this woman had it as a kitten, and then it grew into something that literally is like the size of Angel or bigger. It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Maine Coon or something like that.
It was a Maine Coon. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. It's one of the
They're
largest.
absolutely huge. They are, them cats.
They're
Mm.
domestic cats as well.
Yeah, you can have them as pets.
But I mean, if it decided to get funny, I wonder whether it could take you down, because it's that sort of size. If it decided to get nasty,
Yeah, cats can resort to going back to wild.
because they kind of they have their moments, don't they, where they decide they're going to like gnaw you and all this sort of stuff. And if they are not playing, if they lose the plot a little bit, like a cat that size deciding to sort of go a bit loco with you is not going to be very pretty, I would have thought.
Not good.
No, I just show them the nail clippers or something like that, and they do a run. Like that's what your nose are getting clipped. That's fine.
Thanks for that comment down the bottom there. I much appreciate it when me panel, I should say, me.
170 years old. Bloody hell.
I like it how my viewers contribute to the channel by bringing up bits of facts and information like this. So
I'm
cool.
not good with my pounds. How much is 670 pounds in stone or something, or kilos?
In kilos, you
About
half
200
it.
kilos, I think.
You half
That's
it
the weight.
roughly.
That's for the weight of my old aircraft. That was 200 kilos, 270 kilos, I think it was. Yeah. And if it was any heavier, it becomes what's known as a GA aircraft then. So instead of being a microlight, it becomes a general aviation aircraft. That's the weight, the crossover.
Yeah.
So you need a separate license for that then, a different license, would you?
You need a full aircraft license then. You know how to if you know how to fly a microlight, you know how to fly a big aircraft, but there's more involved with the navigation and things like that.
You can't just wing it as much.
Yeah, there's more systems on bigger aircraft. There's lots of more buttons and dials and things like that. So they want to know that you know what you're doing with them. But yeah,
that's completely different. They're just people like that was stupid.
303.
But saying that, back in the 80s or 70s, weren't there a couple of pop singers in the UK had a few pets, wild cats like that as pets? Big cats. I can't remember which pop group it was.
Didn't he have a tiger?
Who was that?
Used to be allowed
Mike
to.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson did, but there was a pop group or a couple of singers over in this country that used to have them as well.
I think Tyson may have had two or more.
Yeah.
And he just used to let him roam around as well, like where he was living in, not necessarily kept caged away.
They had done a documentary on the one I'm talking about. There were two people, a man and a woman, that brought up the tiger as a young thing back in the 80s. I'm sure they were a pop group, but I'm not too sure. Can't quite remember it. It's quite a few years ago since I've seen the documentary.
Pussycat
And
Dolls.
basically, they were like, look, we brought it up as a little kid, as a kitten, and it's all big now, and they could go in and stroke it and everything like that. But then the rules changed, and they had to get rid of it, or something like that. Like I say, it's a long time since I've seen the documentary, but yeah, it is
So-
like no way you could do that back in the day. Just go out and get a tiger and stuff.
People still bloody well do.
They used to sell things like lion cubs in Harrods years ago.
Yeah,
You could
I think that's
walk
where they
them.
bought it from. Harrods, that's where they bought it from.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and if there's anything more irresponsible than that, I do not know,
Hmm.
But yeah, you'd have to have an enclosure and show that you knew how to handle those sorts of animals, and you'd have to have procedures, and you might even have to have weapons to kind of shoot it if it gets out. Or because I mean, the alternative is you just call in a marksman. If it gets out, if you haven't got your own weapons to kind of take care of it, or they can't often risk trying to tranquilize it, because it could kill somebody between the tranquilizer kicking in, and it could. So the preferred option is shoot to kill with apes and big cats, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
These animals are not designed to be pets.
That
They're stupid.
Escobar drug dealer, he had loads of hippos, didn't they? And when they took him down, all his hippos just went walking about the country then, wild. Yeah, and they had to go hunting for them as well, I believe. They might have not
yeah, they're
caught them
quite
all.
aggressive, aren't they? Is it
Yeah.
hippos or what's the other ones?
Rhinos.
Rhinos, yeah.
Hippos are well known for being quite aggressive.
Yeah. The rhinos were the ones with the spikes, the horns on.
The spikes, he's really technical.
I love seeing like videos of hippos. They sort of like when they want to eat, they just come up and they go so their like, mouth just and then it's like waiting for you. Just throw a melon, like a melon in or something like that. Throw it in, and then it just goes humph, and it just flattens it. It's just like, and then it's like opens up again. It's like more. He's like throw another one, humph. It's just
They
like
do look so
continue on.
gentle. They look so gentle when they're, like you say, it's just there
Yeah.
waiting for an opening and closing the mouth. But yeah,
Take on
let's get too close.
Yeah.
See, John Bengals put in more people die from hippos than sharks each year.
I've heard of that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Yep, I've heard that before.
Mind you, there is a video of a dog that's like Will's dog Caesar, and they give it something like I think it's a burrito, and it's a full size like burrito, and it's like this big, and it goes ready, steady, go, and it just goes omph omph, and that's it. It's just like 3 gulps, and it's gone down its throat.
Yeah.
It doesn't even chew it. It's just gulping it.
Yeah, my
That's a
dog
funny
can
video,
eat
that
like
is.
that as well. I've had like a bit of a kebab left, or should say a quarter of a kebab, put on the floor. Next thing, it just comes over in one gone. In one, it's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Oh, it's called Dog Eats Burrito in 1 second. It's classic.
Wow.
I think we're going to
That
watch
quick.
this, aren't we? More planes, isn't it?
I would show it to you, but we probably, because it's got 41 million views. So that guy has made, because it's £2,000 per million views in general. So that guy has made, 2,000 times 41 million. So that's what, 80,000 pounds, isn't it? Is that right?
Bleeding hell.
Yeah. So it's a per million.
Just
So hang on,
from eating a burrito quickly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it? YouTube's
Isn't it?
weird.
£82,000. Yeah. He's made off that video of his dog Bubba loves his burritos. It's like, go on, Bubba. Shall I put the link in so people can watch it, or you can watch it? But I won't put it up on screen because it's copyrighted.
Yeah, will be, won't it?
Classic though. Let's get it. There we go. The link. Everyone wants to see. It's a short video. It's only like about 14 seconds long.
Oops, don't want to do that. Yeah.
Someone said, "How fast can Angel eat a cheeseburger?"
That's usually about several seconds. Yeah, not as quick as Bubba.
The dog farting louder than humans had 8.4 million views. Wow.
That's mad, isn't it? Who wants to watch that? Do people
Apparently,
watch that?
8.4 million people.
There's so many fake fart videos out there with animals, so I watched a lot of them. There's like somebody makes a fart sound, the animal reacts, and then they make out it was the animal that farted. It's nah. You know, I'm not buying it. You know,
My dog's like that. He's there, like lying down on his bed and that. Yeah. If he farts, he jumps up, thinking, "Oh, what's that?" Spins round, goes, starts sniffing it, and walks about, thinking, "Oh, what have I done? What have I done?" They don't understand what he's done. It's funny when he does that.
well, thank you, Kerno, for your comment. Yeah, nice one. I'll have a look at that. What happened to my light aircraft? Some nasty people slashed the wings on it because just like in the Urbex world, there were a lot of jealous people in the old crop circle world, and they slashed the wings on the aircraft. So I thought, well, I've got a good few years of fun in this now. It's time to get the insurance on it and get rid of it, you know. And then if I ever find I want to get back into it again, I'll find an airfield where nobody will know where I keep it. And I was very, very generous in letting people go for flights in it, you know, so everyone knew where I kept it. Yeah.
It's no good, that, is it?
Yay. It's people want to destroy your dreams, you know. This is people want to destroy you and destroy your dreams because they're not very nice people. You know, so
unfortunately you do have a habit of meeting quite a lot of these types, sadly.
Yeah, and some of them I've never even met, but have an attitude towards us. So
right.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Yeah, but never mind. I mean, the thing is, I was transitioning across to using drones really anyway, because I mean, there's only so much you can do with an aircraft. I know it sounds like fun, but it's only so much you can do. You know, you still got to get
there for you, Matt, on screen.
Just email the bunker. Yes. That,
oh yeah,
yes.
I think it's got that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about this with the whole Tapansi Railway because my friend's actually got a little Cessna, and he said I'll fly you along the entire route. It's only 66 miles. I was thinking about it, and if I was in the aircraft with all the noise and my camera trying to film out the window,
it's not easy.
I ain't gonna see a lot. You know, the audio's
Mind
gonna be terrible.
You can use a gimbal camera a lot better on a boat and in an aircraft than trying to handhold it. It's just an absolute nightmare if you're trying to handhold in an aircraft. Trust me. Yeah. But see, I didn't have gimbals when I was flying my aircraft. I just had a GoPro stuck on it. And of course, every time you tilt, the bloody horizon goes off. And of course, aircraft are constantly doing this. So the bloody footage is terrible, really, you know. So... But these days, it would be a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, damaging or interfering with an aircraft is a criminal offence. And yes, it is a slightly higher criminal offence than anything else because when you play around with an aircraft, you could end up, the person will be dead. Whereas, you know, it's, yeah.
That goes with drones as well. So if you're flying your drone and someone interferes with you, while you're flying your drone, starts coming over, maybe like happened to you, start coming over and arguing and moaning at you and distracting you and stuff. That's got to put the aircraft in danger, isn't it? Because obviously they're drawing your attention away from the flight of the vehicle. So
Yeah.
in theory, you could actually get them done for endangering an aircraft.
It is a serious offence, and I mean, it's a shame that I didn't take things further with some of these people that have caused me a few problems. So they've kind of got away with it, and now I'm the one who's having to answer questions, in relation to these people. But that'll all get settled. But yeah, there was a rather disturbing case of a gyrocopter pilot who was just taxiing his gyrocopter, and somebody who was from the Hunt Association. This guy had been photographing hunts. He was an anti-fox, like a fox. What do they call him? Like a hunt saboteur. And he'd been taking photos with his gyrocopter of the hunts. So one of these pro hunt guys thought they'd track him down, go to the airfield, and this guy was just moving around in his gyrocopter. And he
You told me
tripped,
this.
and he cut his head off in the propeller of the gyrocopter. And it was a terrible thing, and it was quite upsetting for the pilot as much as it was upsetting for everybody else. But he should not have been on the airfield because they're restricted areas, and you're not supposed to go on an airfield without permission. And he basically got off with that because the guy was not meant to be there in that controlled environment. And they just said, yeah, he shouldn't have been there. He approached the aircraft when the aircraft was moving, and then he tripped, and it was the guy's own fault. It wasn't the pilot of the aircraft's fault. He should never have been there. So the thing is, you think like, well, that guy would be up for manslaughter. Nope, charges were dropped. Because that guy was not meant to be there.
But saying that, it's put him through like a trauma, I'd say, seeing that happen.
Well, it probably did, but because he was anti-hunt, and this guy was coming up to cause him some aggro, probably, and then he got his comeuppance. I mean, there's been a hell of a lot of, people probably don't want to hear me get on my high horse about fox hunting because I'm anti-fox hunting myself, but there's been so many people beaten up by the hunts people. Beating up the people who are just trying to take photos and make sure they don't, illegally fox hunt. And there've been people killed, driven over by like Land Rovers, just run them over, just under the wheels, and it's like, and no, as far as I'm aware, there's nobody really been like stuck in jail for this sort of stuff, on the hunt side. But there's been a lot of people on the hunt saboteur side have been stuck in jail. So yeah, go figure.
Stephen has just left a comment for you, but obviously you're not going to mention it on this channel because we're not about that. So yeah, you'll have to go over to Matt's channel if you want any information on that. So yeah. I did see your comment and not putting it up, but obviously respect to you for leaving comments and stuff. So yeah, just let you know.
Hard name people. Mate. We all know who we're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah,
but like you say, he doesn't like hunting or anything like that, or blood sports maybe. And then the next thing, he's got all this blood going splat all over his property, and he'll have to clean off or something, or get someone to clean it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I wouldn't like to do that.
He probably needs. Well, he probably need to get a new propeller, for sure.
Yeah. Suppose if you have an accident like that with a propeller, you've got to replace them just as standard. You know what I mean? Even if it clips something like a football or something, maybe.
If the engine the engine keeps running, you can replace the propeller and you can put an incident report in, but you don't have to necessarily strip the engine down. However, if the propeller hits something and stops, that shock to the engine is normally a major reportable thing and would require the engine to be stripped down and checked for damage, bent
conrods and stuff.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff like that. You wouldn't want to go flying in the aircraft after that. It would have to be checked. So, which is why if you're coming in for a landing and there's something wrong with the engine, even though you could abort and try and climb out, a lot of people, to save the expense, massive expense, will stop the engine and do the last part of the landing with the engine stopped, because they don't want to risk hitting the prop and then the whole engine has to be taken out. So you come in and then turn the engine off and do the last bit of the landing, and you're not going to restart that engine. It's like you've got to commit to do the landing then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching something just before coming on the live stream, Secrets of the Transport Museum, and they had what was it called? I can't bleeding remember the name of the plane now. It's double winged plane, and basically you have to, biplane. But they said it's the name of the actual craft, but I can't remember. And as they're coming in, they have to turn the actual engine off, else it wouldn't land. And a lot of people who were flying them back in the World War One died just trying to fly the thing and not through the actual conflict they were in. Yeah.
Yeah, those types of. I mean, there's lots of incidents where people have started engines because they used to hand start them, and they would have to set it up to kind of have a little bit of throttle and whatnot. But people didn't always quite get it right, and you'd like hand start the aircraft, and people would get out of the aircraft to hand start it themselves, and then they flick the propeller, the bloody aircraft come to life. It'd be a little bit more lively. It jumped the chocks, which it wasn't supposed to do, or the chocks would get pulled out of the way, and the bloody aircraft would go off down the runway on its own. And there have been quite a few incidents where the bloody thing is taken off and flown away. And they're like watching it bloody fly off into the distance. So yeah,
not good. That takes some explaining, wouldn't it?
To blow it, yeah.
The famous incident of the jet aircraft which was being serviced. And the guy was told, yeah, you could, because I mean, without being a pilot, a lot of people can be instructed on how to start an aircraft, take its brakes off, and maneuver it, but do not obviously attempt to try and take off, but they can maneuver it slowly around the airfield, and they don't have to be a pilot to do that. They just have to be, taught how to do it. But this guy was. There we are, Taffy Holden. Yeah, he was basically a mechanic, so he knew how to start the aircraft and do certain things. And he was told, yeah, you can taxi it down. And he didn't realize that there was something like a button, which is like a full power button, which because they have to push forward, and there's some sort of thing. They have a button which does it for them, and it would shoot the thrust lever forward, and he accidentally hit the button, which triggered like full power. And basically, within seconds, he was airborne, like full and he had to fly it, and he was like radioed. And he said, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but and they were like, shit, and he flew it around and landed it, and there was no damage to the aircraft, and everyone was like amazed.
Wow,
yeah, that's
crazy!
That was very scary. That was an English Electric Lightning, I believe that was, which was
there you go, yeah,
pretty fast aircraft.
Yeah, it's like an ejector seat. Hit the wrong button, off you go in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been the most scary experience of that guy's life, and he probably thought, like, I have got seconds. I'm going to die any second now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And he just like carried on, and actually didn't die.
No, if I remember right, I think the cockpit was removed as well. They took the cockpit off to the part of what he was doing, servicing. So he didn't have ear defenders on and didn't have a cockpit on. So it would have been incredibly loud and, incredibly windy, sort of 180 knots, even if he slowed it right down, cruising around that wind. Yeah, scary stuff.
Would he have got done for that, for taking a flight without the license?
It was an accident, so it wasn't intentional.
No.
Yeah, so
I think he was classed as a hero, wasn't he? He was classed as a hero for it, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you hear all that? Where do you hear it about the story, you and Andrew?
I think I've seen it on. Yeah, it's been on YouTube documentaries and things like that. People have talked about it.
Yeah, never heard of it. But yeah, I wouldn't like to be in that situation, though. You know what I mean? Push the wrong button. You don't expect it to be like a machine gun button on an aircraft where you flick it up, then press a button, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think there's all sorts of systems. Like when you put the thrust forward, it won't come back all the way. You have to then like slide it sideways or press something else to bring it back, because it won't come back because the engines will go so slow, they take too long to spool up. So there's a, you know, even if you pull it back, you're still going. It won't, you know, you have to like unlock it to sort of like bring it down to low thrusts, and there's all sorts of weird things like that. So safety mechanisms basically to make sure you don't delight the engine when you're actually flying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. So if it's not, I've heard about the story. I read this sort of incident report on it. Yeah, I believed it was something to do with the throttle being pushed. It pushed it too far forward, and then you can't retract it. You have to press a button or something, but I don't know the lightning that well.
Yeah, basically, he didn't know how to do it. Basically, retract
No.
the controls
Pretty scary.
until he was in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine that coming back from home, coming home from the day's work? Oh, how's your day been, love? Oh, you never believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a crazy one, that, wouldn't it? To say.
I got a funny feeling part of the story about this was literally like a lot of people heard it and thought it was bullshit. For many years, and a lot of people took the mickey out of him, thinking it wasn't true. And then documentaries have been done, so people are like, "Oh no, it did actually happen," you know. But a lot of people like mocked him for it, you know, like, "Oh yeah, I accidentally flew one of these aircraft once." Like, no.
Yeah, proper pub story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually did happen. It was just like one morning in the RAF.
Mm.
It's like a Mr. Bean sketch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going to the air show or something, getting in a plane and just starts clicking things. The next thing is shoom, off he goes.
It's been a right scrape. Yeah.
I mean, there have been a lot of blunders in the military over the years, and I remember seeing something about near Weston-super-Mare, near that Burnbeck Pier, just around the corner. They used to like test fire stuff into the water, so it was like, you know, a munitions testing area. But they also used to do bomb disposal things there as well. They'd actually like, you know, put stuff out in the sea and then blow it up, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But apparently they had to close this area down because it was a big disgrace, because they totally legitimately could not explain where 200 kilos of explosives went that was delivered to them, never destroyed, and disappeared. Yeah, 200 kilos of explosives. Bye.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
There was a bomber took off a few years ago in an air show, and it's supposed to just taxi fast. Yeah.
I think that was a Victor, and it was at Bruntingthorpe. Yeah, there was it was a fast taxi at one of these Sound of Thunder type things. And I wasn't there, I didn't go. But apparently that was a similar thing. The person who was operating the throttles opened the throttles and then like froze in panic. And the actual pilot that was away from, because the way they were configured was the throttles were sort of not near where the pilot was for whatever reason. And he actually had to take off, but luckily the runway there is about 2.5 miles long. So they got it in the air, and then he like leant across and shut the throttles and landed it again. I think that's on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure it was a Victor.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one when I was a kid, but I also saw one a few years ago, and I thought they'd stopped flying them, and it was Weston-super-Mare, and the people of Weston-super-Mare had it fly down the beach and come in front of them. But when it was preparing for this, it came in and turned hard over. What's the name of the place now? The beach. Oh God, I forget now. Beginning with a B, I think it is. Anyway, I can look it up in a second. Anyway, it turned hard bank over us, so we got the hard bank. And then it flattened out and flew straight in front of everybody else. And I thought, well, we got better than the bloody air show did there. You know, we got to look up and see this thing banking low over us. It's like, that's crazy. I'll tell you where the beach is now. Yeah, it's where they used to do sand art.
Is that the like triangle shape aircraft? Is it?
Delta Wing? Yeah.
Yeah. Because when we went to, I've mentioned it a few times, Southport Air Show, they had a triangle shaped jet there. I don't know the names of them, and yeah, bleeding hell, that was loud.
It was
And
Breen Sands. Yeah.
it was loud. You could hear it go, but when it turned away from you and the engine was facing you, it was extra loud. And it was just so fast as well. It's cool if you've never seen one, like a military plane like that close up.
Oh, we got Kaylee Colston Explorers. It happens to be live at the moment. I just noticed. So don't all go rushing over there now, folks. We can pull some stuff out of the bag. I'm sure we can make entertainment. We'll make some more facts and figures.
Still got time left yet.
Yeah.
Normally it's 2 hours we give it up, so another 10 minutes and we'll call it a night. So it's been a great night tonight. Been talking about all sorts of different things, so it's been good.
He says they're bringing Concorde back. I think they need to try and actually bring something, well, to make a supersonic aircraft. They need to do that again. But I don't think it's very fuel efficient. That was the problem as well.
Yeah, I think it is the time for like supersonic passenger planes now. Concorde was like pushing the limits of commercial speeds and stuff like that. Just putting it out there to show people what they can actually do, and it was viable. But like Matt said, obviously it was very expensive. You have to be virtually a millionaire to get a ticket because the prices were that crazy. And I think it was just a bit ahead of time, but now I think time's caught up with, or should I say reality has caught up with whatever, and it should be just natural now for people to go that speed, especially over water, like seas and stuff like that, from coast to coast.
Well, this idea of a HOTOL aircraft as well, something that goes up almost like a ballistic missile and then comes down, and you could get from London to Sydney in less than an hour.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's more like a you take off from a standard runway, then you get up to a height, and then rocket engines kick in and boost you, woof, like a ballistic sort of out, and then you basically just sort of you're cruising at a very fast speed. The Earth is spinning beneath you, but you can do that because you haven't got the friction on the outside of the aircraft. You get to those heights where you don't have any atmosphere, and you can just cruise at phenomenal speeds, which you couldn't do in the atmosphere because you'd burn up.
Yeah,
and you just drop back in and then land conventionally. HOTOL. Is it HOTOL?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. HOTOL.
I'll have to check that out.
HOTOL. I don't know what it stands for now. I've forgotten. HOTOL. Horizontal takeoff and landing, but it's basically a space plane, but it's a horizontal takeoff and landing. So you land it from land it on an airfield. They were even two-stage types where it would take off on a piggyback aircraft, and when it gets up high enough, like a 747, it would take off, then it would come off the back of it, then boost into orbit and come back down. Yeah, it was an idea that they didn't really develop it, but it could have been done. They could still do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas out there that's been on the board and not took off. Or, know what I mean? It's like the monorails. Yeah, monorails over here. They was thinking of doing that, but obviously they haven't because there is none that we can see. Major ones, anyway. You might get one or two in a fairground or Blackpool Pleasure Beach and stuff like that, but not proper commuting ones.
Alton Towers has got one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, as you say, it's a bit of an oddity, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely. But I think the transport we've got at the moment in England needs to be updated because what have we got? We've got trains, buses, cars, coaches. Yeah, we've got trams. Well, that's true. But there's nothing modern out there that that's capable of doing what the job needs to be done, like clearing the streets of all the congestion, getting people cleanly from one place to the other. There's not much out there really. They should be thought of this many years ago.
The British
Two
people
wheels
seem
as
to
well.
like the cars and the convenience, so it's going to be very difficult to sort of get people away from that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love the-
Transport's never bloody right anyway. It's always late.
I think if they ever get the self-driving car things like to perfection, I actually enjoy just going to sleep and just like waking up at the destination, so you don't have to like suffer all the stress of idiot drivers. And especially these days, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but like you have these 4-lane motorways, and they've taken away the emergency lane, so it's like you break down, everyone's going to try and crash into the back of you, even though that can never happen. But everyone's going to try and crash into you, and then you got 4 lanes, right? So what does everybody do now? They hang in the 3rd lane. They just live in the 3rd lane. Yeah, and it's like a thing. I swear, these lanes are now right. The left-hand lane is for lorries and poor people. The second lane is for slightly more upper class. The 3rd lane is you're very posh. You're like the best of the best. And the 4th lane is for overtaking if somebody will get out of the way to let you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the current state of the way people drive in the UK. It's just all backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's put up that TR3B there. I've heard of that. That's possibly the Black Triangle. But on the news recently, with the things what's going over in that other country at the moment, I've seen a drone they put up, and that was a TR2 something. I was like, oh, that rings a bell. Yeah, it was like just a reconnaissance drone, I think it was.
Right.
The name of it was like TR2 or something like that. I thought, like you say, it sounds familiar. TR3. You know what I mean? B. Yeah.
TB2.
Possibly TB2.
TB2. Yeah, it's UAV. Combat aerial. From where though? It's called a Bayraktar UAV. Turkey. Comes from Turkey.
Oh, is that what it is? The Turkish one.
If it is that, I think they've been given Western drones, like proper Western style drones. I think that was some of the stuff they were given. And they've been. Have you noticed that they're heavily using DJI drones to do reconnaissance, and then they're releasing the footage of shooting Russian stuff? But there's a hell of a lot of footage coming out from DJI drones. You can tell it's obviously DJI stuff, and of course you can fly that with no fear of getting shot down, because it's a tiny little drone. It's going to be very hard to shoot it, and they got some damn good footage out of these drones in this war, like never been seen before. That this has been used as a tactic. So maybe this is why the governments don't really want people having drones, because one day they'll be able to use them for something that the government doesn't want, which is like stopping the government.
Well, suppose the government should have to press a button to turn them off, won't they?
Not necessarily.
Hey, don't you reckon the government would just be able to just turn a button, press a button, and turn them all off from flying?
Well, they will, but I don't think Russia's kind of thought about this, because Russia's got nothing to kind of combat it at the moment. They've just got old tanks, old everything, and the whoever they are, let's say this country out there that is in conflict at the moment, they've just really embraced this idea of using this stuff, like home equipment to kind of and it's very, very useful.
Well, when it comes to times like that, you need to use whatever you've got at your hand, don't you, to survive?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oops. Back in a sec, okay?
We can only hear him but not see him.
I'll be back in a second. Nature call.
Good night, Natalie. Natalie's shooting off.
No worries. Natalie. Catch you later.
Yeah, but what I was saying about the TR... There's an echo, I can hear an echo. What I was saying about the TRB or 2 or TB2, it just rang the same bell as the TR3B. What was in my mind from obviously the black triangles. You know what I mean?
All right.
But it does seem like it is all military. If you know what I mean. The initials do fit in with like the flying things and drones and stuff.
Yeah. Don't know. Not sure. I know Kano's got a Air 2. I think he's got, which is a nice little drone. I think DJI, talking of drones, they're doing a 20% off sale at the minute, which, if anyone's thinking of getting one, check that out because that is quite a lot of money off. I don't like that,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's good that, yeah, definitely 20%.
Yeah. What else is happening here?
Oh, that feels better. Crossing my legs for a bit there, then I just didn't find a moment to do it. Yeah, find a moment to sort of rush off and do it.
Just go. I'm sort of sitting there and thinking, wait, and talk. Wait.
Yeah.
Going through your mind.
What do you call it? Barry Little asked you a question a long time ago. I forgot to put it up. How's your new torch?
The torch was really crazy earlier on. I was going to go and do something this evening, but then my friend was ill, so I went and did some stuff today, and I haven't got some things I really have to do for tomorrow ready, so I can't. I need to do that before I go to sleep, and then I got to get up early in the morning and do stuff. So all I was able to do this evening was, apart from that picture, which I think I sent a few of you, which is now making me. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. You know.
Yeah, that was a chunk blower.
That was, yeah.
Oh, that Kit Kat chunker.
Yeah, I've got some footage which I play on my phone, but it kind of gives the idea. I can't see it. Turn it off. There we are. So if I put my new torch on, you can see right the way up the road. Actually, you can't really see it. Hang on, let me bring my. I'd have to bring the focus in. I mean, it's crap quality. I'm just showing you that yes, I'll have some footage that will kind of demonstrate this. It enabled me to see, instead of like a couple of 100 feet, it's almost like, kilometer and a half. So it was quite something. Right now, if I can bring this out of the way, I can probably focus in a bit better. There we are. So, see, scratching on my screen, but yeah, it was very impressive. I was on top of the hill, which is. Oh, let me just refocus. I was on top of the hill, looking back towards where my house is, and I shone it down, and I could actually see my house and other houses lit up. Which, I've got powerful torches, but they blind you at the same time. I've been trying to explain this concept of a floodlight blinds you, so you don't see into the light, you don't see the distance. Whereas a thrower produces a small searchlight type thin beam, but it goes a long distance, and you can see that because it's not spreading out. It doesn't blind you at the same time. It just stays in the very tight beam. So I was quite impressed with that. But yeah, I need to do some videos to kind of show you a small thrower, a big thrower, and I've got like a torch that's like that. And I was considering upgrading it to take LED lights in it instead of the bulb it's got, and making it portable as well. Because normally you put them from a 12-volt car battery and they're unwieldy. But I was thinking, I could put a LiPo battery on it now, like I do with my drills. I've converted all my drills to work from helicopter batteries from my old drones I used to use. And they're great. They got loads more power than the old NiCads used to. And, it's, of course, I can just solder on the connector. And now I can use all my batteries and all my equipment, instead of buying one battery for one drill and spending like £100 on a battery. Well, sod that, just £20 on a radio controlled car battery.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Remember the Green Fort where we went? and you told me not to shine my torch too far out because it went like a beam. Mine was a thrower. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was hitting the ships out on the bleeding shipping lane.
Well, it can be quite bright, you know. You got to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, people
You
will
did-
sometimes they'll think that you're in distress, and they could radio
Yeah.
through, and then with next thing we have, a bloody Coast Guard will come up saying, "Is everything all right on there?" You know. So that's
Yeah,
why
you
I rang
did
you.
radio through though, didn't you, to let them know first before we
That's
started
right.
turning lights on and stuff like that.
Yeah, I said we're having some fun, and no, we're not in distress. We'll ring you if we need you. Yeah.
And they actually phoned you back the next night, didn't they?
Yeah, they rang me in the morning. They said, "So did you leave afterwards then?" Because I was meant to ring him to tell him we're off now, because then they'd know the next night if somebody did start shining lights from there, that it might be a distress signal, you know. So it's like, oh, I said, shit, I forgot to ring you, didn't I? Yeah, we're off there now. Thank you. So, but, you know, it's what they do. It's good of them, but it just goes to show, you know, it's better to ring them than have them sort of wonder what the hell you're up to, you know.
Yeah,
And they're
definitely.
not to be feared. It's like air traffic control. If you want to fly your drone near an airport, just ring air traffic control and tell them what you wish to do. And if they can, they will accommodate you. They'll say, right, when do you want to do it? Right, okay, ring us before you're ready to go. And it's like you ring them and they say, right, you got 10 minutes, that's it. And they'll just keep aircraft out of the way whilst you do what you want to do. And then when you finish, ring them, I'm finished now. And they'll go, okay, and they'll just bring the aircraft back in. But they try their best to help you. They're not all boogeymen, you know, like out to arrest you and stop you having fun. And, you know, you're an air user like everybody else. Just because you've got a really small drone doesn't make any difference. You know, it's the same difference. Like somebody who just happens to have a very big Learjet. You know, it's like, well, everyone has the same right to use the air. You just have to do it in the right way.
Yeah, take
So,
turns.
Yeah. But of course,
yeah.
the Learjet is going to get like £1,000 bill for being delayed. Like, you know, from you just want to fly your little drone. So yeah, they have to try and fit you in a way that doesn't, like, you know, cost thousands of pounds to commercial air traffic for just a few minutes of extra orbit time whilst they're waiting for this little drone guy to kind of get his stuff in it. But yeah, they do that though. Yeah.
Can you imagine that though? The pilot on a major plane. We just have to circle a few times, and hopefully we won't run out of fuel while this one DJI drone pilot of a amateur YouTube channel does his little thing.
Yeah.
Steve, please stand by and just get in the crash position just in case.
But the thing is, if you ring them, the air traffic control wouldn't explain why they're telling people to stay out of the area. They may sort of say we have drone users in an area. They might say something like that, but generally they wouldn't discuss the circumstances of it with the rest of the pilots because they don't need to know. You know,
Yeah,
in
just
many
say
cases.
it was unmanned vehicle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, you could cause some real headaches if you just did it without telling them, because then they'd have to keep everyone out of the area. If somebody spotted that on radar or reported it, they'd have to keep everyone out of that area for quite some time, you know, until they were absolutely certain that this drone was gone. Then
yeah, it's back to
tens
the
of thousands of pounds in delays, you know.
it's back to the airfields where people have been accused of flying drones over it and stuff like that, and closing the major airports down. Yeah, remember that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. Go to call it a good night and let everyone say their piece and say good night to you, everyone. And thank you for joining us. So, who wants to say good night first?
I will.
Yeah.
I'll see you
I know,
later.
I think both of you's yawning as well.
Thanks, folks. Yeah, I need to go and get some water. I'm dehydrating, folks. See you. Bye. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Matt.
Yep, no worries. Who else? Who's next?
Me? Yeah, thanks everyone in the chat. It's been cool. I'm on a live for a good couple of months now. So, William, thank you for having me. And nice to have a chat with you, Jackie.
Oh, it's nice seeing you again, mate.
Yeah, it's good to see you up
Bye.
and that. Bye. And thank you, Jackie. It's down to you now.
Yeah, well, I've got a video coming out in a few days, so, and people can't get rid of me yet.
Is it that one you tell us about? You went out the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did part of one last week. Now I'm doing the other part this week. So
Yeah, no worries. I'll definitely check it out and give it a like. So yeah, cool. Everyone
hey,
else do the same.
everybody.
Bye bye, Jackie.
Right.
And then that's me, leaves me. And thank you everyone for coming on this week and having a good chat and making the live stream out how it is really. Without yous, I wouldn't have a show, and much appreciated. Stay safe till next time. Good night. And thank you.